Hello and welcome back. Today is the day one for preparation of UGC NET JRF Forensic Science exam. We'll start with basic concepts of forensic sciences, which includes its definition, history and development, need for forensic science, branches of forensic science, studies, databases, etc. Forensic is derived from the Latin word forensis, which means of or before the forum or belonging to the court of justice. It is a scientific discipline which involves recognition, identification, individualization, and evaluation of evidences using scientific principle and methods for the administration of justice. Now, why there is a need of forensic science? Due to increase in crime rate, as we all can see in newspapers, the crime rate is increasing tremendously. Misuse of technology with the intention of crime, wrongful convictions based on eyewitness false testimony, that is the Innocence Project, in which 200 wrongful convicted persons were rescued. Evidences doesn't lie, but humans do. That also falls in the category of eyewitness false testimony. Social circumstances and less fear in criminals of being caught. Now, branches of forensic science. Forensic science is an interdisciplinary subject in which every other field of science is more or less connected. Some of these studies include forensic biology, forensic physics, forensic chemistry, forensic toxicology, forensic serology, forensic ballistics, fingerprinting, question documents, critical thinking, mathematics, cyber forensics, sketching, and forensic photography. There are many other scientific branches of forensic sciences. We'll talk about these in detail later. Some of the studies in forensic sciences are listed in this slide. So, osteology is the study of bones, serology is the study of serum, palynology, study of pollen grains, dactyloscopy, study of fingerprints, odontology, study of teeth, pedology, study of soil, limnology, study of properties of water, and also the study of diatoms. Toxicology, study of toxins, anthropology, study of human ethnic groups, dermatoglyphic, study of skin patterns of fingers. Dermato means skin. So it is the study of skin pattern of finger, palm and soles. Entomology is the study of insects. Pathology is the study of dead human body. Graphology is the study of personality of a person from his or her handwriting. Taphonomy includes the study of post-mortem changes to human remains, and scotology is the study of feces. The various databases and bureaus are CODIS, DNA database, that is Combined DNA Index System, FISH, Forensic Information System for Handwriting, it is Handwriting Database, NIBIN, Ballistics Database, that is National Integrated Ballistics Information Network, IAFIS, Fingerprint Database, Integrated Automated Fingerprint Identification System. Also, there is AFIS, Automated Fingerprint Identification System. FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, DEA, that is Drug Enforcement Administration, ATFE, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Fires and Explosives, ASCLD, American Society of Crime Laboratory Directors, AAFS, American Academy of Forensic Science, that is established in 1948 at Colorado, and there is also a Journal of Forensic Science, which is published by AAFS. CITES, it is Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species, and ABFO is American Board for Forensic Odontologists. These are the various scientific working groups. SWGIT, Scientific Working Group on Imaging Technology, SWGDAM for DNA analysis methods, SWGTRAD for shoe print and tire tread evidences, SWGMAT for material analysis, SWGDOC for forensic document examination, SWGFAST for friction ridge analysis, SWGGUN for firearms and tool marks, and Spec D for digital evidence. Basic principles of forensic sciences. First is principle of individuality, that every object has individual characteristics which serve for its identification purpose. Next is Locard's principle of mutual exchange or law of transfer. It states that every contact leaves traces. Contact between objects, between person and object, every contact leaves traces. Now, principle of progressive changes, that every single thing, the criminal, crime scene, objects, everything undergo changes with time, and hence they may be unrecognizable. Now, next is law of comparison. Only the likes can be compared. Hair will be compared with hair sample. Shoe print will be compared with shoe print. Next is the law of analysis. Correct sampling, collection and packaging plays a vital role in analysis. If the collection, preservation, sampling is proper, the analysis would be better. Law of probability. All the identifications are made on the basis of probability, and that cannot be 100%. Even the fingerprint of two individuals can be same, but it is a very rare chance. It is 10 raised to the power 60. Now, principle of circumstantial facts, that means evidences and facts don't lie, but man can, and they do. Every year there are questions based on pioneers of forensic science, books and authors. So I have listed some. Starting with Matthew Orfila, he is the father of forensic toxicology, and he established methods for scientific chemical analysis of poison. About Alphonse Berthelin, he is from France. He is the father of criminal identification. He developed the science for anthropometry and gave the technique of portrait parley. Francis Galton, he is from UK, he is the father of fingerprinting, and he developed methods for classification of fingerprints. Henry Faulds, he published a paper for the usefulness of fingerprints for identification purposes. Karl Landsteiner, he discovered blood grouping system in 1901. Leon Lattice determined the blood group of dried blood stains. Calvin Hooker Goddard, he is the father of forensic ballistics. He developed comparison microscope. Albert S. Osborne, he is the father of question documents. Walter C. McCrone introduced microscopy in forensic sciences. Hans Gross published a book for criminal investigation, and based on this book emphasized on the application of scientific techniques to the field of criminal investigation. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, he is the author of Sherlock Holmes, a very famous novel. There are movies based on this as well. Sir Alec Jeffrey, he is the first one to develop a DNA profile. Edmund Locard, he gave the principle of mutual exchange and is considered as the father of criminalistics. Sidney Smith contributed in superimposition technique and identification of Buck Ruxton victims. Spilsbury contributed in forensic reconstruction. Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, he is the discoverer of microscope and also known as the father of microbiology. Wilhelm Röntgen, he discovered X-rays. Culliford and Raxel, they proposed the working instrument of starch gel horizontal electrophoresis. Witten Marin Krogman, he contributed to the development of physical and dental anthropology. H.L. Bami, he is the first director of Delhi CFSL. Sirakisa introduced the absorption illusion method for blood stain identification. Marcelo Malfeghi, he noted ridges, spiral and loops in fingerprints. Also, Malpighian layer This layer is given the name because of Marcelo Malfighi, uh, and it is the layer of skin that is 1.8 millimeter thick. Frederick R. Cherrell, he is the former detective superintendent who originated the fingerprint system. Perry Basson, a TV crime drama, and also it is a syndrome in which people attack like what they see in the drama. Victor Balthazar, he developed probability models that showed that fingerprints were unique, and there is approximately one chance in 10 raised to the power 60 that any two people will have the same fingerprint pattern. Also, he is among the first to note firing pin impressions and fabric impressions from bullet. Julian Hatcher, he gave various books related to firearms, ballistics, and weapons. Leonardo Keeler, he is the co-inventor of polygraph. Lombroso, he is the father of modern criminology, and he used physiological traits for the first time for detection of deception. Carey Mullis, he is the inventor of PCR technique, polymerase chain reaction. Glaister and Brash. Skull photo superimposition technique was first used by Journal of Forensic Sciences. Uh, Bewick, he used engraving of his fingerprints on the books published by him. J. Elmog, he uh, he synthesized ninhydrin analogs and applied them in the for latent fingerprint visualization purposes. Willett, he described the forensic use of Fardeba's reagent. In 1888, a criminal named Lee Drew was identified through barefoot pattern analysis. The missing big toe crime, the missing big toe case, sorry. Sir Robert Robinson, uh, he was awarded Nobel Prize because of his investigation on plant products that are especially for alkaloids. Stephen Ousley and Richard Jantz, he created four-disc database to assist forensic anthropologists. Now, forensic books and their authors. Burrard is the author of Identification of Firearms and Forensic Ballistics. Nicholas wrote The Development of Forensic Science. Wilson R. Harrison is the author of Suspect Documents, Their Scientific Examination. Paul L. Kirk, Crime Investigation. Ostberg O'Hara, Introduction to Criminalistics. Saperstein, An Introduction to Criminalistics. T.P. Jattar, Teaching and Research in Criminology of Criminology in India. Barbara E. Dodd, Some Recent Advances in Forensic Serology. Ordway Hilton, Scientific Examination of Questioned Documents. Augusta Christie, Murder is Not Easy. Isn't Easy. Hans Cross, Criminal Investigation, a practical handbook for magistrates, police officers, and lawyers. M.K. Mehta, The Identification of Handwriting and the Cross Examination of Experts. Bordziak is the author of Footwear Impression Evidence. Soderman and John O'Connell. He contributed in. He is the author of Modern Criminal Investigation. Culliford, The Examination and Typing of Blood Stains in the Crime Laboratory. Krogman W.M. and Scan M.Y. Human Skeleton in Forensic Medicine. A.S. Osborne, Question Documents. Uh, Also, another book, The Problem of Proof and Question Document Problems. Julian S. Hatcher, he wrote Hatcher's Notebook, Forensic Ballistics. Hedrick and Hubbard, they wrote Handwriting Identification, Facts and Fundamentals. E. R. Menzel, Fingerprint Detection with Lasers. Lee and Gainslin, Advances in Fingerprint Technology. E. R. Henry, Classification and Use of Fingerprints. M. M. Hawk, Mute Witness, Trace Evidence Analysis. A. Lucas, Forensic Chemistry and Scientific Criminal Investigation. D. Allen, Scientific Examination of Documents, Methods and Techniques. Daniel Emis, Aims on Forgery. Brain J. Culliford, The Examination and Typing of Blood Stains in the Crime Laboratory. J. Levinson, Question Documents, A Lawyer's Handbook. James Robertson, Forensic Examination of Hair. A. S. Curie, Poison Detection in Human Organs. Mitchell, C. A. and Hepworth, T. C. Inks, Their Composition and Manufacture. Victor Balthazar, The Hair of Man and Animals. You have to memorize these things as there are many questions based on the books, the contributor of these books, or related to the pioneers. Now, history and development of forensic science. During the post World War One, after Locard's application of scientific methods, there is the establishment of police laboratories in Berlin, Vienna, Sweden, Finland, and Holland, followed by a forensics laboratory in Los Angeles Police Department at US in 1923. In 1932, FBI organized world's largest forensic science laboratory, followed by a forensic science laboratory in USA at Scotland Yard in 1935. Due to increase in the crime rate, many FSLs were set up across the world. There are about 250 forensic science laboratories in US, while UK have 11 FSLs. West Germany, Italy, Canada, France, and Switzerland has 21, 13, 7, 4, and 4 FSLs respectively. In 1966, there was establishment of Central Research at Aldermaston, which the basic work of this Central Research Establishment was basic for devotion of basic research in forensic sciences. Also, a National Research Institute of Forensic Science was set up at Tokyo, Japan. First recorded autopsy was conducted by Roman physician Antistus in 44 BC on the body of King Julius Caesar. That led to the conclusion that even the king was stabbed 23 times. Only one wound through his chest caused his death. There is a Will West case that changed Bertillonage to fingerprints. Bertillonage is based on anthropometric measurements, measurements of criminals, but there was a false conviction that leads to the demolition of Bertillonage and use of fingerprints for the identification purposes. Development of fingerprints. In 19th century, fingerprints were first observed. In 1880, British scientific journal Nature published a letter from Henry Faulds and William Herschel disclosing the characteristics of uniqueness and permanence of fingerprints. Their observations were verified by Sir Francis Galton, and he gave the first fingerprint classification system. Before that, long before the development of fingerprints, China, there were paintings in which Chinese mark. So in China, there were paintings with the fingerprint of painter long time ago. Sir Edward Henry improved the fingerprint classification system given by Francis Galton, and the modern classification system is known as Galton-Henry system of fingerprint classification. In 1902, There is establishment of forensic science in curriculum by Swiss professor R.A. Rees at University of Lausanne. In 1950, University of California established first academic department of criminology, and American Academy of Forensic Science was established in Chicago. Now, history and development of forensic science in India. In the second half of the 19th century, Chemical Examiner's Laboratory was established at Madras in 1849, Calcutta in 1853, Agra 1864, and Bombay at 1870. In 1897, the first fingerprint bureau of the world was set up at Calcutta, now known as Kolkata. The note forgery section and the footprint section of CID were established in Bengal in 1917 and 1915 respectively. Government Examiner of Question Documents was established at Kolkata in 1963, Hyderabad in 1968, and Shimla in 1906. The serologist and chemical examiner to the government of India was established at Calcutta in 1910. After independence, the first state forensic science laboratory was established at Calcutta by merging Chemical Examiner's Laboratory in 1952. In 1955, the Central Fingerprint Bureau was set up at Calcutta, followed by Central Forensic Science Lab, which was established in 1957. All these units functioned under Central Forensic Institutes that were within the jurisdiction of Intelligence Bureau, along with Central Fingerprint Bureau and Central Detective Training School. Central Detective Training Schools are located at Kolkata, Hyderabad, and Chandigarh. In 1974, the control of Central Forensic Institutes were transferred to BPR&D, Bureau of Police Research and Development. Later, a Central Advisory Committee was formed under MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, in 1959. Teaching of forensic science was started for the first time at Sagar University. Thank you. For more such videos, stay tuned to my YouTube channel.